Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all for NPS webinar session. Myself, Vidit Jain, Product Head National Pension Scheme for HDFC Securities Limited. At the onset, I would like to take an opportunity to thank all of you for joining us on NPS webinar session. Along with me, I am having Mr. Sumit Shukla, who is the CEO of HDFC Pension Fund Management Company. HDFC Pension Fund Management Company is one of the leading fund managers under NPS private sector model. Thank you, Sumit, for joining us.
Thank you.
And I'm sure this session is going to be very useful for all of our participants.
I'm also sure. Thank you.
Without taking too much of time, Sumit, we will start our discussion for the day. Sumit, the first thing which I would like to ask you, what is NPS and how it came into the system? If you can give a brief detail about the same, so it would be very useful for all of us.
Okay, good evening all of you. NPS as it is called the National Pension Scheme. The product per se came into existence long back and it really gained traction in the last 2-3 years. But it has a history of now almost 12 years. It started in 2004 where Government of India decided that for all the government employees, the pension which was supposed to be a defined benefit pension got converted into a defined contribution pension scheme, and that is where the birth of National Pension Scheme came in. Post 2004, all government employees who came into the existence and became employees of government were all a part of National Pension Scheme. They don't get any defined benefit pension, so that's where it started off. In 2009, it started to government understood its pension is a big thing, and it is important that people in the old age make some living out of whatever money they have made during their working life. So post 2009, they started making it popular for non-government employees, and that is where a larger customer base today that we are addressing stands today. So that is where 2009 and beyond is NPS, where it came into its own. Subsequently, after 2012, some tax benefits also came in, so it became even more attractive. And in the current avatar, it is a very attractive scheme, and everybody should subscribe to it. Why pension is important? I think that's what everybody has to understand. Why government is keen that pension should be a part of everybody's portfolios, because governments are worried that as people become older, they will become dependent on the government system for survival, and that is going to add to the complication of making the government run. Government doesn't have good hospitals, government doesn't have good old age homes, and if all people come and start dependent on government, it will going to be a big problem for the government. So that is the reason they want all of us to be sufficient, to have enough money when we are retired, and when we don't have any working life left, we should live on our own and we should develop as a good citizen of country. And so that is the reason government will continue to back NPS, will continue to give good incentives on taxation, other things, because it is in the interest of the government to run this scheme. The other aspect of investment, where the government really benefits from a national pension scheme is that it gives them funds which are long-term funds. Now, why these are long-term funds? Because if you're working and you're a 40-year-old, you will retire at say 60. The 20-year you are investing in NPS, and this money can go into entirely investment of infrastructure development, with either an airport or a flyover, whatever investment long-term that the government wants to make on infrastructure, largely worldwide comes from pension money. And in India also, it will slowly, you will start seeing big, if it's a bullet train between Bombay and Ahmedabad. If you look at the way that is getting funded, funds are coming from Canadian pension fund. So why can't Indian pension funds start, giving money for making these bullet trains? So that is where, as the NPS becomes larger, we have more money, we will be making those investments into infrastructure, which are going to really help the government. So that is the reason NPS is what it is today and how it started.
Thank you, Sumit. My second question, why one should invest in NPS? There are many other retirement products available in the market, then why NPS?
Why NPS? The question is just to look at it from a little Western world environment. In US, it is called 401k, which is a parallel of NPS. In UK, it is called Nest. So basically, governments worldwide run these national, these pension schemes, which are primarily government-run schemes, on which all the citizens of the country have to subscribe. In some of the countries, it is mandated. In India, it is not mandated, but it is something which the government is backing in the first place. So I've already told you why government is backing it. Why, as an individual, you should invest is because the way world is today evolving, the medical science, you can get your heart changed, you can get your liver changed, you can get everything changed. So the average age that a person is going to live is becoming longer and longer. At the last census, it turned out that it is about 78 years is the longevity of an Indian citizen. So if it is 78, I take it in that manner, and if you're going to retire at 60, 18 years is going when you're going to spend where you're going to have no money as an income coming in. So there are going, and is this 78 can go to 90, it can go to 95. It may eventually happen that for the number of years that you have worked, you will live for that much longer where you will have no salary to support. So it is in the interest of the person concerned, whether he's a businessman, salaried or anyone, that he should save for his retirement so he can have a decent retirement. Another myth which has got broken in the country today in the last 20, 15 years is all of us used to believe that the children support the family and that is where we need not save. Our children are going to take care of us in our old age. I think that myth has also got broken largely. People have started seeing stories where kids have not taken care of their parents, or kids have gone to US, they are busy in their own life. So I think that myth has also got broken. So in all of it, it is important that people realize that if you don't save for your retirement, you're going to have a terrible time. Medical cost is going to go up. It continues to go up. It is the highest inflation. If you see, it's about 20-25%. The medical costs keep on going up every year. So as you become older and older, the medical cost is going to take away a lot of your wealth. And if you don't have a steady income, which is going to come from a pension, payment, you're going to suffer. So that is the reason I think somewhere as an individual, one has to think about it. After all the responsibilities of getting your child married, you're having a house, if you don't have sufficient money left to take care of your old age, you're going to suffer. So I think that is the reason NPS has to be a part of everybody's, financial planning. Why NPS vis-a-vis other products? I think it's a no-brainer. NPS beats other products in all parameters altogether, including whether you look at the cost of buying an NPS, whether you look at what is the charges that you pay to maintain an NPS account, how investments happen, how money is made. NPS stands out against any other product. I think insurance and mutual fund are not even comparable to an NPS product per se from a perspective of this. So I think considering everything aside, NPS stands out. So you should have an insurance, you should have all other products, but not having an NPS is not an option that a customer has. He should have an NPS. That's the way it is.
Thank you, Sumit. It is very helpful. Sumit, what are the features and benefit which are specifically associated to NPS? If you can give some details on that.
Okay. So the benefit and features of NPS is, the bigger benefit that you clearly see of NPS is we invest your money in 3 different schemes. It goes into equity, it goes into corporate debt, it goes into government debt. So you don't have to buy different products for getting investment into different. So you give me 100 rupees and you tell me I want to put 30 here, I want to put 30 here, and I want to put 40 in equity. That is the way it is going to be run. So you run your investment the way you want to run it. I will invest on your behalf, and regulator is mandated that I do the best quality investment. So I put the money on your behalf. You observe for 1 year. If the money is not doing well, you are again, it's within your hand to change your mix and make it more on equity, less on debt. Equity you can go up to only 50%, but that's the benefit that you have in your own hands as a subscriber to decide as to where you want to put your money. Comparison would be any other product where if you are not, the fund performance is not well, you will have to sell that product, take the money back and do the change. Here within that product only you can do the change, so that asset mix is there. Second, what NPS brings to the table is, it gives you a long-term horizon. What NPS does is it holds your money back because you can't withdraw. There are some withdrawal mechanisms which have come in lately, but largely this money is locked in. Now, why this money should be locked in? Because if you don't lock in the money, you will always find a reason of withdrawing this money. There is some eventuality that may come in, wife would like to go out for a foreign trip, or your kid will be going for a foreign education. So temptation is there that you withdraw the money. Because it cannot be withdrawn, it doesn't get withdrawn. So that is the reason it gets stuck, and it only gets withdrawn when you are retiring. So because of the long-term benefit of investment, when you retire, you see a huge lump sum has come through. If you ask salaried people, the PF deduction started when you started working early. Eventually, when you start working for 10, 15, 20 years, you see your PF accumulation becomes big, and you start then realizing that you have done the right thing by deducting in PF. But PF itself is not large enough, so you have to keep on doing these deductions, which are mandatory in nature, which force you to save. So that is where I think NPS stands out, that it forces you to save. It gives you enough investment criteria that you should put your money in. It locks you into investment, and eventually you benefit from it. And you, as an individual, as you reach 40, 45, when you are earning the maximum in your career, you start believing that this is the time that I should be having the certain corpus on which I can really plan my retirement. And NPS and Provident Fund actually gives you that base on which you can build your retirement. Similarly, if you're a businessman, if you suddenly sold a property and you got a lump sum amount, please put your money into NPS. it will force you to save. It will not allow you to take out the money to put it back into your business or your child education, and you will then see the benefit of NPS, how the corpus grows. So, on both perspective, it is a great product to be.
Thank you, Sumit. Sumit, see, there is a confusion among the investor because there are two kinds of accounts in NPS, tier 1 and tier 2 account. If you can just provide the difference between the both the accounts, so it will be helpful for our investor to invest in NPS.
So basically there are two accounts, a tier 1 account and a tier 2 account. A tier 1 is the main account which has to be opened for having a tier 2 account. The nature of tier 1 account is government has made as I said, the lock-in stands for tier 1 account. Your money cannot be withdrawn if it is in the tier 1 account. All the tax benefits that government gives is in the tier 1 account, because government is looking at tax benefit to be only given in the scenario where the money is getting locked in. Otherwise they will not give the tax benefit. So tier 1 gets all the tax benefit, the money gets locked in, and you cannot take out your money the way you want to take it out at any point of time. So that is tier 1. Tier 2 is an additional account which is given by the government for you to fund it whenever you have additional money. At the same time, when you want to withdraw the money, you can withdraw the money. Now, why government has done it? If you look at the cost structure of a NPS, it is the cheapest product in the world. The cost structure is the lowest. So government is giving you an advantage of having the lowest cost structure product. Now what they are saying is, I'll give you two accounts. In one you save for your retirement. In the second you use this same cost structure to save money and keep it. And keep it for 1 year, 2 years, withdraw it whenever you want to withdraw it. So it's an additional benefit that comes as a tier 2. But the main account is a tier 1 account, where you get all the benefits, everything. So tier 1 has to be opened. Tier 2 you can open it as an account. So all customers should have a tier 1, tier 2. In tier 2 also you get equity up to 50%, which benefits the customer because he can have equity investment up to 50% within tier 2. So it's a brilliant combination of both the products, but focus on opening a tier 1 first and then subsequently open a tier 2.
So can someone open a tier 2 account only without tier 1?
No. You have to have a tier 1 account to have a tier 2 account.
Okay.
It is an add-on account. It is not a standalone account.
Okay. Sumit, as you mentioned earlier that there are few additional tax benefit provided for NPS. So can you just give us some detail about this additional tax benefit? How much an individual can save tax by investing in NPS?
So basically, last budget, the big tax benefit which came in, which now it's like you should, everybody invests 1.5 lakhs under 80C to save tax. So government said, okay, within 80C, I will give additional amount which will be only for NPS. So government last year increased it by 50,000 rupees, but that will only come if it is a part of the NPS investment. Otherwise, it will not come. So it's an exclusive carve out. So if you are investing under 80C, it is this section is called 80cc D1B, where you can invest up to 50,000 rupees. And if you put into NPS, then your total becomes 2 lakhs under 80C.
Okay, so this is exclusive of 80C.
It is over and above 80C, 1.5 lakhs. Oh. There is a 50,000 rupees which is only for NPS. Okay. So that is for everybody, all citizens of India. For only salaried employees, where the government wants to focus on them focusing on building a retirement corpus, there is another section which is called 80cc D2, where they have given another tax benefit which is the way it is calculated, it is 10% of your basic plus DA. Okay. So whatever is your salary, then there is a basic plus DA, there will be a smaller portion of your salary. Out of that 10% you can invest without any cap into NPS tier 1 account, and that will be tax free.
So there is no absolute cap for this 10%.
There is no absolute cap. So if your basic plus DA is 30 lakhs, you will get 10% of that. 3 lakhs is tax free. Completely tax free. So you will save 90,000 rupees tax if you are in the top bracket, which you will save 90,000 tax there. And if you put 50,000 rupees additional, you will save 15,000 rupees tax benefit. So the combination of both will be what, about 1,05,000 is what the tax benefit you will get.
Okay. So both this section 80CCD 1B and 80CCD 2 are over and above section 80C of 1.5
It's completely over and above. There is no ambiguity. The tax laws, the finance bill is absolutely clear. It is over and above 80C. Already so many subscribers have come in. We are getting so many. After this tax benefit was announced in February last year, we have seen a quantum jump on subscribers which have started coming in using this tax benefit. Largely self-employed have started coming in because they've never had a tax benefit. Salaried have been coming in steadily after 2012 when this tax benefit was announced. So last 4 years, salaried have been joining, but the quantum jump have come in self-employed after this 50,000 rupees has come in.
Second question pertaining to this thing only, Sumit. This benefit is only available for NPS as a product, or they can invest somewhere else and also can claim this tax benefit?
It's only NPS. So what government is saying, you cannot open any other retirement account, any other insurance scheme, pension scheme to get this benefit. This is only for NPS.
Okay.
So that is the reason I am saying government is backing it for its popularity. They want it to become successful. That is the reason they're giving a tax benefit. And I am assuring the subscribers is that I don't see an end to it. it will even become better, the tax benefit, as we see next budget and the next to next budget, because government believes if you don't have a pension society, we have a huge problem looking at us. And if you look at the last 3-4 years, Greece went through such a terrible problem on financial services. The entire finance of Greece went for a toss. Pension was a big part of it. So no, they didn't fix this pension problem. So India doesn't want to be another Greece. I'm sure it will work towards having a better. So you will see more tax benefits coming in, more targeted focus towards this. Just to build up on that, for lower strata of the society, government last year has again launched a scheme called Atal Pension Yojana under the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, which is another very good scheme, but it's a small subset of an NPS. So for lower strata of the society, for mass people, they have done APY. NPS will continue for senior salaried people or self-employed people, and government will back it for tax benefits. I have no doubts.
Thank you, Sumit. Sumit, how you manage this fund? So as you mentioned that there is an asset allocation between three asset class: equity, debt, and government security. So is there any capping, and what kind of returns our subscriber can expect from NPS? See, because that will only build a good corpus for them at the age of retirement.
Correct. So basically what, there are three schemes as I told you. One is equity, second is corporate debt, third is government debt.
Okay.
So in equity, we buy stocks on your behalf. In corporate debt, I give money to people, the big conglomerates, where I give money, they give me returns in interest. And government securities is where I buy the government securities, where I get a fixed return. So there are three schemes which we run. I will go one by one. In equity, how we do investment is, we've given us a set of stocks, which is about 120 stocks, where market cap is more than 5,000 crores, and they are traded in the FNO segment. So they are the best possible stocks in the country. We are only allowed to invest into that. Okay. So government has taken care that your investment is not going into a company which is not good enough from creating this criteria. So I buy only those 120 stocks. My fund manager takes a call, picks the best of those stocks and makes an investment on the equity part. As a subscriber, you can only do up to 50% equity, and government is very, very keen that we should manage it quite well so that we give decent returns. If you look at the equity returns in the last 1 year, it is about 20-25% is the return which has come in. But keeping that aside, if you look at, now the second is the corporate debt. Now in corporate debt, we are mandated to only invest in AAA and AA assets. So I cannot go into a company which is less than AA.
Okay.
And I can only buy a AA or a AAA if I've got three valuations on my books. So I can't go with one valuation. I have to have three valuations which say three valuers have valued the company, said it's a AAA, then only I can give money. So government has made sure that I invest in good quality companies on government debt. Why corporate debt, and why corporates are interested in taking money from me? Because I have long term money. So I can give money to say a Tata or a Birla or HDFC itself, where they get 10 years, 15 years money. So I get good returns on that. And in government debt, we invest in the best quality government debt. So government debt is largely, it's nothing is going to happen to that. So in all the three schemes, the idea, the essence the government is saying is, if a 40-year-old is joining today, if he retires at 60, he should not see that his capital has got eroded, there is not made enough money, and they should not feel cheated. So the underlying essence is safety of the capital is the biggest underlying essence. So we save the capital of the consumer, and then we give decent returns. If I look at our overall return of a subscriber from a perspective that he's invested for the last 3 years, we have given returns, if he has invested 50% in equity and some in debt and some, up to 12 to 13% on a cumulative basis. Now where I compare these returns is, say for a PPF return or a PF return. A PPF gave 8.8 last year. PF gave also 8.8. Now against an 8.8, I'm giving 4% higher return, which is 12%, 13%. Now if you look at it, if you're a 40-year-old and you're going to retire at 60, for 20 years, if you get 4% extra return, your corpus is going to be 80% larger. So that is what people have to realize. Every year, 3 to 4% extra adds to a huge amount of corpus in the end.
Along with that additional tax benefit.
Along with that, because of the tax benefit they are saving in any case.
Yes.
So cumulatively, they benefit a large amount of money. So returns perspective, I can assure the subscribers, they have to be very confident that the government wants this scheme to do well. They are keeping a very close watch. PFRDA, who is our regulator, keeps very close watch on what we are doing. We are making the right kind of investment. If we are making the wrong, we are pulled up. So none of the fund managers will ever falter on that, and we will make sure that they have a phenomenally good retirement, and we deliver good returns in next whatever time they are going to retire. So that should not be a worry at all. And returns are going to be, if you look at the leading newspapers of India today, which is Economic Times and Mint, every Monday they are publishing now the returns of NPS. They can look at those returns and compare as to which fund manager is doing what. What I would request the subscriber also is not to look at 1, 2, 3 year returns and start making decisions on a product. This is a product which is long term. And in the long term, it is going to benefit to you. I don't make investment which are going to give returns in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I make investment which is going to give returns in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So back the investment, be with the fund manager, and then you will see the benefit of it in the long term. So that's where the returns are.
Thank you, Sumit. Sumit, what is the withdrawal option available to a subscriber at the age of 60? That is the maturity age for NPS. And what tax implication it has at that age? If you can throw some light on that aspect as well.
So on the withdrawal, first let me deal with if you are less than 60 and you want to withdraw. So there is an opportunity for you to withdraw also if you're if there is some eventuality in the family, you want to withdraw the money. There are two options. Before 60, if your child is getting married, if there is education happening of the child, if there is a house building or there is a medical emergency, you can withdraw 25% of your contribution after 10 years. So that is the money. So it is liquid. So you can't say that this money is not going to come to you. In the eventuality of these 4 instances, you will get that money. At the same time, if before 60 you say migrate to US and you are not in India, you want to go away and you want to withdraw the money, you get 20% as lump sum and 80% is annuity.
Okay.
So 20% lump sum, 80% is annuity. If you are retiring at 60, the option that you have is you can take 60% as lump sum, 40% as annuity.
Okay.
60% lump sum, the way taxation works today, and just to elaborate, I will come to taxation later on maturity. The PFRDA regulator has done 2-3 good things which I will also add to it. But what happens at the time of retirement? When you're retiring, the share market may not be doing well. And you say, okay, I've been caught on the wrong cycle. I'm retiring now. I'm forced to withdraw my money. You can keep your money, which is the lump sum, till 70.
Okay.
It's not necessary that the day you retire, you have to take the money out. And from 60 to 63, you can keep your annuity pending. Okay. It will keep on giving you returns and you can take it out at the age of 63. So both the things are available from the regulator perspective they are given. Now coming to the taxation, or the tax law, the good change that has happened last year, 40% of the lump sum that you withdraw, 60% is tax free.
Okay.
And the balance 20% that is left out on the lump sum, you have to pay tax. And 40% annuity, the entire corpus gets invested. Whatever returns you get is taxable. So from that perspective, the taxation on the maturity is this. 40% of the corpus which you withdraw is tax free. 20% that is left out is taxable. And 40% of the annuities is taxable.
But I have just read somewhere this 20% can also be withdrawn in tranches. So it will reduce the tax liability.
Absolutely right. So another interesting thing our regulator has done is after 60, if you're retiring, you can actually say, give me 10% till the age I turn 70. Okay. So every year you will get 10%, and when you retire, at the 70, whatever is left will come to you. Okay. So you can actually plan your retirement, because as you become older, your steady income starts reducing. So your tax bracket starts coming down. Okay. So from that perspective, the regulator is doing everything possible for your tax incidence to come down. And considering the way government is trying to push NPS, I believe, it is my firm belief, it may happen in this budget, in the subsequent budget, this 40% will become 60%. Okay. So there are talks which have already started because government wants to push this agenda. And today, if some subscriber is not willing to join the NPS because of this small thing, I'm sure the government is going to walk the talk and do it. So it's a matter of time that will happen. So if you're a subscriber who is at 35, 40, actually you don't know. See, the other interesting part about India is that sitting at an age of 40, you want to predict what is going to be the tax laws when you turn 60. You can't decide on that. And when you turn 60, it may so happen that there will be a government which decides everything is taxable. You can't, cry at that point of time. So look at the brilliance of the product, which it is. So one in the hand is better than 2 in the bush. Today it is the cheapest on charges. It is giving good investment returns. Enjoy those things. It is giving you tax benefit, which is a bird in the hand is today. Use that. What is going to happen from 20 years from now is not something which you should be worried about. But at this point of time, this is the law. 40% is tax free, rest is tax.
Thank you, Sumit. Thank you. It will be very helpful for our subscriber.
So with it, why don't you tell the subscriber that how can one apply and become a subscriber? That is also a very important part. We want a lot of people to come and join. Government wants it. So what is the process of getting into the NPS scheme? If you can just tell everyone.
Surely, Sumit. Before answering your question, Sumit, I just wanted to highlight to our subscriber that HDFC Securities got the Best PUP Award, that is Best Service Provider Award from the PFRDA, that is a regulator for NPS, for the financial year 2015-16. That was only possible due to the extended support given by our esteemed customer to us.
Great.
Now, coming back to your question, Sumit, how one can apply NPS through HDFC Securities Limited? As HDFC Securities Limited, we have made application on NPS very easy and seamless. A trading account holder of HDFC Securities can visit our website, that is www.hdfcsec.com. On our homepage, they have to visit product and service section, and over there they have to select National Pension Scheme as a product. By using the trading credential on that particular page, they will find a pre-populated form. That means all the details of the subscriber would be pre-filled. They are just supposed to add couple of details like addition of nominee and selection of the pension fund manager and asset allocations. As you are also aware, Sumit, at the time of registration, a subscriber needs to issue a check as well. But what we have done at HDFC Securities, a trading account holder can hold the fund online. By doing so, he is not supposed to issue any check. At the end of the session, they have to take the printout of the application form. They have to attach the KYC document, that is one passport size photograph, PAN card copy and address proof copy. The same can be submitted to the respective relationship manager, or they can submit the same to our nearest HDFC Securities branch. This was regarding the person who are having HDFC Securities trading account. Say for example, some of our subscribers are not having a HDFC Securities trading account. They can fill up the physical application form, they can attach a KYC document and an initial contribution check, and they can submit the same to our nearest HDFC Securities branch. For more information, you can connect any of our branches. We are having more than 260 branches spread across 189 locations across India. So they can approach any of the branches and they can apply. Thus, applying NPS through HDFC Securities is very easy and very seamless. Sumit, now see, as you can see in this on the screen, that we are getting many questions from our participant. Let's take a couple of them.
Sure.
So the first question which many people have asked, what is the age criteria to invest in NPS? So if you can give.
So the age criteria is anyone above the age of 18 can become a subscriber of NPS, and up to the age of 60 he can join the NPS franchise. So it's basically open for largely all the people who are in the working population. And government is very keen that people should subscribe at a younger age, because I just want to highlight one more additional thing which has recently come. For people at younger age, less than 35, they have now increased the equity cap to 75%. So
It has been implemented, Sumit?
No, it is going to get implemented so the scheme has been approved by the government.
Okay.
It's going to the process is getting in place, so I think it should get launched in 1 month. But at anybody who is up to the age of 35, through an auto allocation, can actually get 75% investment into equity. So what government is saying, if he is 35 and below, he has got 25 years of working life left, he can actually take an exposure in equity up to 75%. Now that is a very good thing, because more you invest into equity at younger age, more benefit you will have when you retire. Because equity gives the best possible return. And there are so many studies which have proven that the equity is the best possible retirement option. So that is what the government has done. So anybody between 18 and 60 can do it. Less than 35 can go up to 75% equity under the auto allocation. So I think I recommend that people should join who are a younger age, because government wants them to come in. And the earlier they come, it will be good for them as they retire.
They can get the compounding benefit.
Compounding benefit of the retirement.
Certainly. Sumit, the next question which I would like to ask you, what is the difference between active choice and auto choice?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the active choice and auto choice. So active means, as I shared with all of you, there are 3 schemes, E, C and G. Active means as a subscriber, you have the option of choosing what mix you want, 10, 30, 60, whatever you want, yet you can choose. Equity cannot be more than 50%, so that is called active choice. You can change your mix every once a year after the financial year starts, so that is active. So you can change your mix, you can decide the mix. How auto choice works is, auto choice is you join at a particular age, and then the equity exposure starts coming down. And when you reach the age of 55, the equity exposure comes down to 25%. So that is the way they have designed it. It's kind of a balance fund, where if you don't have the time of really looking at your investment and want that equity should start coming down as you grow older, because the perception is that when you're closing to the retirement, equity should be lower, then perhaps auto choice is a good option. But active and auto both, if you have the time to look at your investment once in a year and evaluate what you want to do, please go for active choice. If you don't have the time, you want it automated, auto choice is a very good option that people should explore.
Sumit, can a subscriber change the equity allocation, asset allocation?
Yes, he can once in a year.
Achha, once in a year they can change.
Once in a year they can change.
Okay. Sumit, the last question for the day which we can take. Is there any guaranteed return under NPS?
So another very good question. There is no guaranteed return concept within pension NPS, but needless to say, the PFRDA Act, which was passed by the Parliament, mandates that all of us should have a guaranteed pension product. So there is work happening on that.
Okay.
So we will have a product which will give a guaranteed return. I don't know what is going to be the contour, what will be the guarantee, but yes, the government is working towards it, and we all fund managers are working towards creating a product which is good enough for people to do. But currently, the returns are all market linked. Whatever investment you choose, your market has to perform, and if the market performs, you benefit. So if you invest on a particular day, I invest on a particular day, my returns can be separate from your returns because you have chosen a different asset mix. So government has lost it, is given it to the subscriber to decide how his retirement is going to be.
Thank you, Sumit. That concludes our webinar session. If you have any further queries, you can write to us on customercare@hdfcsec.com, or you can call on our call center number, that is 390-19400. Sumit, I would again like to take an opportunity to thank you and thank all our participants for joining this webinar session. Thank you. Have a great weekend ahead. Happy investing.
Thank you.